Okay, alright, that'll do. Look, I just wanted a cool intro and I've been enjoying Season 3 and I was inspired, and don't judge me. Okay? Good, though I do feel like this is the weakest song so far. But either way, welcome, fellow hunters, to the perfect critical draw. A lot of you have been asking me, has Kulve Taroth done anything for Greatsword? And the answer is, yeah, our golden goddess has given us gifts of glory. Thanks to, well, the layered armor, we can now use a few pieces that were previously just so ugly, and actually have it look pretty cool with shiny golden disco trousers. And coupled with Kulve Taroth chest, we can achieve something truly special. I called it the golden draw, and if you can make this build, it's possibly powerful enough to compete with True Charge on a more one-to-one footing, to the point where it's just a playstyle preference that you pick. So without further ado, let's get into what's going on here. So here is the build then, and of course we're using Wyvern Ignition because rocket powered, but also it is just the best greatsword with Elementalist, which we can fit in without losing anything to do so. Here it goes higher raw than the Joe sword, it's got those sweet flames, the 2 level 1 slots are lovely, natural white, I mean it's just the all round pack. I love that sword so much. Danny doesn't understand why I have a picture of it printed on my pillow. She's so naive and jealous. Moving right along, there are 5 main skills, not counting non-elemental boost, because if the weapon can take that, you use that, but 5 core skills that you need for crit draw to be really quite potent. And honestly, they work in a very much hierarchy. And they are as follows. Level 3 crit draw coming in at the top. I mean, yeah, shocking, I know. Then you have level 3 crit boost, if you can, because this is essentially just 15% more damage, because you are always critting, which is some ridiculous bang for your buck. Then we have level 3 focus. Now, look, this is where we'll divide people. There is camp. Focus, I mean, it's alright, it's nice, I mean, I'd rather just cram on some other skills, I don't really feel that it's needed. And then there is camp. What? Playing Greatsword without Oh! You sacrilege! You heretic! You cannot, but it makes the weapon, thank you very much. And while I definitely fall into the latter camp, there is no wrong way to play the game. Of course, if you're having fun, then you're hunting well. But I think anyone who has played Greatsword with and without focus can attest the difference, irrelevant of the fact that it says just 20%, the difference in just feeling of the weapon, the fluidity it gives it, the extra fun. Well, no focus is normal Jagras and level 3 is great. Like, the difference between level 3 focus is, well, this and this. You can go take naps as you wait for your attack to charge. I can't stand. Alright, fine, I'll get to the point. Look, numbers are good, and I've spent way too much time than I care to admit, because I have nothing better to do, going through many of my hunts, going through the footage, and working out all the extra damage I got in thanks to focus, to give an actual damage percent increase to the skill, to kind of put it in more perspective. And on the low end, it's about 4%, and on the high end, depending on the monster, it's about 12%. So the potential for focus is huge, and I spent so many hours working out the percent of a skill in a I don't know, I could have achieved so. Now maybe this is too much. It's not worth it. Like, who am I gonna tell? You know? Oh, are you proud of me, everyone? I know focus is 4 to 12% in Monster Hunt. Yeah, that'll help. It's not. You know, it's not. I don't even. After that, then, you want as much handicraft as you need to make the weapon function, i.e. not constantly sharpening, not having it feel restrictive. This is kind of personal preference, but I think 2 is absolutely perfect from Death Stench. That, coupled with the natural white sharpness, is 30 points of white, which translates to 30 hits on monster. And as each of those hits is a meaty critical draw, that adds up to a lot of damage and probably a dead monster in most cases before you even need to sharpen. For example, Kirin, without even charging most attacks, took 35 draws to die. How do I know that? After that, then, you want attack up to 7, just to pump the numbers. That's really it. So, the perfect set, then, you might imagine, achieves all of those things, and it does. So, out-the-box stats, as you can see, are fairly fine, and what you'd need to do, and the decoration requirement is hefty here, it is, but we are going for perfection. I don't like being a build guide that's like, yeah, just put in your 5 attack! But, like, it's not possible not to. You need a good decoration collection to function critical draw to a level where it's actually, you know, air quotes, viable. So, you will put in your double critical draw jewels, or just your one if you're using Kulve Taroth Alpha to get that to level 3. You've already got Focus level 3, you've already got Handicraft level 2, so that's already taken. In your another slot, you would put your critical draw jewel. Now, I don't have a critical draw jewel, because, you know, haha, so I can't really put one in. And then in the final level 2 or above slot, you put in your non-elemental boost. Yeah, pretty good. That's them slots sorted. Then you would, in 5 of the remaining slots, put 5 levels of attack, coupled with the Energy Belt, you get your 7, and then you literally have all of the skills you need to make good critical draw maxed, or at least to the point where they don't need to be better, and you will end up hitting for over 400 a draw on a kind of basal level weak 2 slashing monster, which is really impressive considering the speed that you are pumping these out. So that's essentially what you're after, and again, I do apologize for it being so decoration heavy. Now, for example, because I don't have the critical draw jewel, what I will do is just put in all of my expert jewels, and then I will fill this final slot with a bit of weakness exploit, and then I kind of make up for the crit that way. It's not quite as powerful because I'm lacking attack, but it still does the job, and it's still an absolutely fine version of the build. Now, you may be thinking, Energy Coil, isn't it? I swear in the intro you were using something different. And I was, because perfect has to include looking good doing it, right? Obviously, Fashion Hunters high five. Let me introduce you the best belt in the game. So, the Vangus Coil. Oh, this thing is off the chain. So, it is beautiful because fashion-wise, it is on point. It goes with damn near everything, and it lets you have some really cool-looking sets compared to Nergi and Odogaron, which are, by the way, the other 2 main waste slots that are competing with it for Greatswords. And think about it, in Odo and Nergi's case, it's 2 attack or 2 crit eye and a level 2 slot. With Vangus, because you get the level 3 and level 1, you're at most, assuming decorations, losing 1 attack or 1 crit eye, depending on which one you use, and that's a tiny loss for the sake of fashion, so tiny that almost the 1 rank of latent power almost makes up for it. So in my mind, it is totally worth it, but also having an extra level 1 slot to play around with is pretty damn good. So what I would do if I had the final crit draw in here, but we'll represent it with Tenderizer for now, I would put 4 attack jewels in to get the level 4 to reach yourself at the 5%, and then in the final 3 slots for pure min-max, I actually honestly would go for level 3 Quick Sheath. Now, level 3 Quick Sheath isn't incredible on the Greatsword. The Greatsword is already the joint 2nd fastest sheathing weapon, believe it or not, but you gain 0.2-ish seconds per sheath thanks to level 3 Quick Sheath. So if we compare that to the other option, which is just shove 3 more attack jewels in for 9 raw, over the course of the hunt, considering every time you attack, you are sheathing afterwards. So you are sheathing like a madman with critical draw. Every single time you are saving 0.2 seconds. So over 10 crit draws, you're now saving 2 whole seconds, which is enough time to do another full crit draw and then then a bit thanks to your focus, so it can bounce together to actually both make it feel really fast and fluid and fun to play, but also tangibly increasing your damage. Now, is it more than 3 attack? It's about even, but I think feel is very important when crafting a build that you really do enjoy. So yeah, your perfect critical draw is TLDR as follows: Wyvern Ignition, Diablos Helm, Kulve Taroth, Diablos Aero Braces, Vangus Coil, Death Stench Shield, Focus Charm 2, you want 4 attack jewels, you want 3 sheath jewels, Elementalist, 2 crit jewels, and a crit draw jewel. And you are gonna be having a very, very good time. So look, crit draw then is fantastic because of how powerful relative to how safe it is. You always just wait till the monster's committed to an animation, to a move, and you just walk up, choose a weak spot to snipe, triple charge, boom, and he'll probably reel back because it's still a shit ton of damage, and then you keep going, you keep pressing the attack. You run up, triple charge, hit, roll away, sheath, look for the next opening, repeat ad infinitum until the monster falls over. And honestly, it is a lot of fun to play. You really feel like you're just making the monster look like a moron as you dance around it, consistently sniping it in weak spots until it just, well, fucking dies. Honestly, if you compare ease of use to power, to clear times, to effectiveness, to fun, a part of me is really tempted to say, and granted I'm biased to Greatswords, that it might actually be one of the few handfuls of builds in contention for just overall best build in the game, because it hits on literally every factor you could want, and that is rare and beautiful. Now, against a lot of monsters, True Charge is still more effective if you can play it properly with good shoulder badges, but against a lot of things like Kirin, and for me personally like Teostra, because I hate being near him, I really do, it's so much more effective. Kirin especially, because you really don't have enough time to charge anyway. Crit draw absolutely demolishes him, but it's another, now thankfully, truly viable option to playing this weapon, so you feel a little bit less pigeonholed. You can also try and find a way to work in Airborne for extra 10% damage from aerial hits, because the aerial greatsword hit is really powerful. Aerial greatswords are whole styles. There's a lot of good speedruns using it, and it really is quite potent. In fact, spam aerial ledging is the highest DPS a greatsword can do, so coupled with crit draw, that obviously ends up being quite good if you can find an opportunity to launch up and actually use it. And the thing is, you gotta remember that when in the air and use the greatsword aerial attack, you do stop falling momentarily, gain a bit of height, and start moving in the direction you're looking. And you can use that to do some actually really nice readjustment hits in midair. But yeah, that aside, it's a simple build, decorations aside, a simple playstyle, but it's fun and it's effective, and that really is where it's at, is it not? So thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next time. I'm not really sure what my next build video is going to be. I kind of want to cover my Dual Blades build, but I don't know. I also have a light bow gun, but I mean, let me know, guys. I would love to get a feel for what kind of things you want to see coming out of builds. Obviously, I've got some silly ones like the Palico build coming up, but yeah, in terms of seriousness, you'll have to let me know. But for now, my name has been Josh. Please share this around if you did find it helpful. Like if you enjoyed yourself, and subscribe for more. A goodbye.
Rage Gaming with the video float.
But that's all that's really relevant at the mo, but I'm still gonna leave this up so you patrons know that I love you even though the outro's no longer that kind of relevant. But the new one's being worked on and it's gonna be a truly badass song, and don't worry, I won't be doing any rapping on it. I'm gonna go now. This was shit.